Welcome to the Sim Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Eric, and I'm usually joined by Ron, but today we have a special guest joining us this week for episode number 139. Anthony, all the way from Cape Cod. Actually, you're in Connecticut now, right?
Connecticut, yep.
Yep. And he's you know what? Go ahead, Anthony, and then plug where they can find you.
So you can find me at Tony the Burner on TikTok. You can find me at Tony the Burner Sports on Instagram. Excuse me, and Powerlifting News USA on YouTube. Okay,
here we go. And this is what's on the agenda for today. We're gonna have some NFL news. We're gonna review week number 12. We also gonna do our quick power rankings, and then we're gonna end it with our game predictions, our game picks. Anthony, feel free to just jump right in when I do the NFL news, because I want to start off with talking about last night's game, particularly what happened with the 49ers receivers getting hit in the nuts. How do you feel? Do you think that was just a bit Bush League?
It is, but you know what's funny? Like it used to be like guys got praised for doing dirty things. Now they're shamed for it publicly. So things have certainly changed in that regard. It used to be gamesmanship. Now it's, it's wrong.
I always tell people, like, don't ever compare 70s and 80s to today's NFL, because you'll knock yourself out. Back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, they didn't care. They went out to kill you.
Oh my God. I watch a lot of 70s football from my channel, and some of the things they do back then are wrong. It is wrong.
I mean,
chill out.
Some of those clips I can't even show my kids. I can't even show my wife, because I know she'll cringe. She'll be like, wow, that was allowed? I was like, not only was that allowed, that was praised.
You see those guys from the Raiders, like Jack Tatum and George Atkinson, they're like, a guy's already on the ground and they go elbow first in the back of the guy's neck when he's already down.
I mean, and anything went. And I don't know what was rough. They didn't even have roughing the passer back then. It was like no roughing anybody. Wide receiver, nothing. There was just no rules back then.
No.
Anthony, another thing in the news, Brandon Cooks to the Bills. Is this going to help them a lot, or just kind of like a Band-Aid type of thing?
Yeah. I've been saying all year we have Bills fans that I talk to in the TikTok community and stuff. And I was telling them that I think it's really disappointing that the cupboard is not full with Josh Allen in the prime of his career. And it still won't be with Brandon Cooks, but he is an upgrade. They've had issues with Keon Coleman. They just did not. I think the Bills they're a good team, but they're not performing as well as they should, because I think beyond their defensive issues, I think they have some offensive challenges too. And Allen should not have to carry the full load that way. And he may not have as long of a prime, sorry to go on, but he may not have as long as a prime as some other guys. I don't think you're going to see Josh Allen playing till he's 40 or something like that. I just don't see that happening.
No, the way that he runs over people and he likes the contact, and they have a good running game. I don't know, just lean on that running game. But I guess a lot of defenses are just saying, like, well, if you shut down the running game, they don't have a passing game. It's just Josh Allen. I don't know. I think I agree with you. This is just going to be kind of a Band-Aid. Let's see how far we can get with this Brandon, because I don't see an extension here. I think he's up in age, Brandon Cooks. So I just don't see. I think this is just a Band-Aid.
It is.
Anthony, the other thing to finish it, the NFL news: Patriots injuries. How will this affect the Patriots going forward?
Oh, I had two big thoughts on that. So I think that beyond the Will Campbell thing, look at this. So Milton Williams was probably one of the biggest free agent signings. Now he is going to miss, I believe, the next 3 games. But just seeing him out yesterday or the Sunday, they were running at that side. They were running away from Barmore, and they were running successfully to that side. You don't understand unless you really watch the impact a guy like Milton Williams has on a game. He's not the kind of guy that gets 17 sacks for you, but he's a space eater. He takes on double teams. He's great against the run, and he's one of the best interior pass rushers as far as pressures go in the league. So I think him out of the lineup was also a huge loss. Campbell, are we hearing, 4 games, maybe more?
Well, he's definitely going to be back by the time the playoffs starts. So I don't know if this is till the end of the season, because this is the 12th game. It's about to be the 13th game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think he might just be coming back for the playoffs.
I mean, Vidarian Lowe, I don't think very highly of him, to be honest with you. And but he does have experience in the league, so maybe he could just get it done. He has a better line than he's had last year. They didn't have Morgan Moses or Owenu. Owenu seems like he's not all the way bought in, or maybe he's not the player he was. We don't realize that, but Campbell's a tough loss. Vidarian Lowe is just not him. He's not,
And I know that they elevated some people from their practice squad. I don't know if that's going to be enough for them to be dominant. I mean, when I look at the remaining schedule, they have the Bills. They have the Giants next, then they have the Bills. The Bills is between a bye, so at least they have some time to get better. But then they have Baltimore, then they have the Jets, and finish with the Dolphins. So, best case scenario, I mean, they can go 3-2 and still win the division, right?
Yeah. Well, they're technically 3 games ahead of the Bills now, even though they're 2 up in the loss column. But they have the tiebreaker, so it's technically 3 games.
It's 3 games because they won that game against the Bengals. So yeah, we'll talk about that game when we get into. Well, let's just do it. Let's just review week number 12, and let's start with. I know he's not here, but we have to talk about it. Pittsburgh versus Chicago. I know Chicago was favored by 3 points, but I can't get over the fact that Pittsburgh had the lead and let Chicago back in. So is this just... I know that they were handing out money at the beginning of the year. This is the highest paid defensive team in the league. Are they really just overrated? Is this a year that Tomlin's not gonna go 500?
Maybe, but I think they're overrated. Listen, I don't always say this about Steelers teams. But Jay, I said this on your pod probably back in August when we did that show. Yeah. I said, and this was my take, TJ Watt, they should have not paid him. I don't want to say he's overrated, but I think he gets glazed to excessive amounts. And at this point, he's had a lot of injuries. I think edge rushers, you can get one that maybe doesn't do what he does, but maybe close. You could have gone in the draft that way. But I don't think it was a necessity to re-sign TJ Watt. Just the brothers Watt glaze sometimes is sickening to me. They can do no wrong. You can say nothing against TJ or JJ Watt. But TJ Watt, I'm not going to say he's overrated, but he's had some favorable matchups over the years while rushing the passer, especially in his division. He's had some incompetent teams playing against him. I just don't think you should have re-signed him. I said that before, and I'm saying it now. And look, they're not any better or worse for the wear with him on the team. I don't think. So
not only that, Anthony, but because I watched the game. I had that YouTube, sport channel thing. And Mason Rudolph did not throw the ball over 20 yards. He tried it once and he got intercepted. And then the rest of the game, it was like he did not want to go more than 20 yards a throw. So what happened was they didn't score. They just they didn't continue to score, and I think that long term, going back to the Ben Roethlisberger days, Tomlin has played great defense but crappy offense, just the worst offense that you can think of. And now this being an offensive league, the Steelers are in trouble. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, to be honest, I think it's time to just part ways.
Well, they've never addressed the quarterback per se. Well, they've addressed it, but they haven't done well at it since Roethlisberger's been gone. You don't settle for, you're the Steelers, you settle for Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett and Justin Fields. Everyone knew Justin Fields wasn't good. Like, come on. You know what I mean? They just haven't solved out the quarterback situation.
Russell Wilson.
Things look a lot rosier. Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson, I liked him, and he's all done. He's done. They have not addressed, and even if Wilson had played good for them, they're still in the same predicament. They're not moving forward with him into the future. You know what I mean? So,
well, it's hard to find a good QB when every year you're in the 20s. Maybe one time they were like 15, but they ended up picking Pickett, and he didn't turn out to be very well. So it's like, I really don't know. I mean,
but they took Pickett at 20. They really need a quarterback to the point that they should probably give one of those Godfather packages to get into the top 7 or 8 if they're not there this year. But I think they're going to be a little closer than normal. So if they need to move up, they might have the ammunition to do that. And they probably, this team's not going to get any better taking another defensive tackle or left guard or wide receiver. They need that quarterback. That's obvious.
Yeah,
they're not doing anything.
It's a shame. It's a shame because Tomlin just got an extension last year, so he might be there for another year or two. It's almost like a friend Ron just says, like it's a movie that just keeps replaying over and over again. I don't know what the owner is doing, Rooney. I know it's his son running things, but it's just sad. It's sad at this point.
Well, they don't fire people, so
that's another thing. He's what is it, like his 20th year? He's been there, 15th year. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's had 3 coaches for almost 60 years. I feel like
they just don't. They don't move on.
It was Chuck Noll, and then
Cowher?
Was there someone after Cowher? Was Cowher right after Chuck Noll?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah, that's true. That's wild.
They've had 3 coaches
for 60 years.
That's crazy.
I know. Well, it is great.
It is great. Talking about coaches doing well, let's talk about our team, the Pats. They played the Bengals, and it was a victory, but it was a victory with a lot of injuries. Where you stand? Would you rather them losing and keep healthy, or would you rather them winning and this happening?
Well, neither. But you know what? It's maybe they get healthy at the right time, but they're going to have to squeak out a few undermanned victories, that's for sure, because I'm telling you, I think Milton Williams, I said this already, I think he's one of the biggest losses for them injury-wise, and he's out for 3 games, but you could see the difference when he was not on that defensive line. And the Bengals knew it too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
they haven't allowed a runner over 50 yards, and I think Chase Brown had 100 yards, and not that Milton Williams is, like a pass rush savant, but he was there to, like you said, pick up space, clog up the middle, and that
actually
just wasn't
he
there.
is a good pass rusher. Okay, he doesn't get sacks, like I said, but he had one of the highest pressure rates last year of interior defensive linemen. That was one of the things that got him paid the way it did. And I believe, I haven't seen the stat, but the eye tests tell you that he's collapsing the pocket. He got a game ball in one of the games for collapsing the pocket at the end of the game. This guy is a disruptor. and he's athletic. I thought he was kind of more heavy set. He's jacked, Milton. He's a big dude. Yeah,
let's just say that the high ankle sprain, they're like thinking that he might be back for that Baltimore game. So we'll see. We'll see.
High ankles are not good.
Yeah, it's that pain is different.
Yeah,
pain is different because it's not your knee, it's not your ankle. It's painful. It's very painful.
Yes.
Anthony, let me just say who I think who I have in my power ranking for this week 13. So I have the Rams at number 1. I have our New England Patriots at number 2. I have Seattle at number 3. I have Denver at number 4. I have Philly at number 5. I have Green Bay at number 6. I have Detroit at number 7. I have Indy at number 8. I have Chicago at number 9. And I have San Francisco at number 10. Are there any of those teams that you think don't belong in there?
Actually, I was going to compliment you on the Colts take because I just don't buy them, and maybe that's just a gut feeling. I wouldn't be some people would put them in the top 3 in their power rankings, but I agree with you. They might even be I can't put them any lower than that, but I agree you properly placed them, to be honest. The Eagles, I think, are in trouble this year. I just feel it. I don't know if they're gonna make a serious Super Bowl run. They could lose to. I think Seattle could easily beat them in a playoff game.
If I had to pick between Darnold and Daniels, I would pick Darnold. I think Daniels is. I know that fool's goal has been going around, but I just don't trust Daniels that much. I just don't, and I don't know why Minnesota let Darnold go for McCarthy. That was a mistake, a huge mistake, and I just feel like Seattle is a good team.
I have a theory on that. I think that Darnold is just carrying around the Jet stink with him wherever he goes. I do believe that. I think that always in the back of your minds, you think this guy was a horrible quarterback for the Jets. He just can't shake that because that's what the Jets do to people. It's a place where quarterbacks go to unalive.
Yeah, but if I had to choose between two poisons, Daniels or Darnold, I think I would choose Darnold. Because I know he was in the Jets for 3 seasons. I don't think he even made it to his fifth year, and he was traded or he was let go to Carolina. But with Daniels, he was there for a long time, and he got his extension, and they still let him go. I don't know. I don't know. I think that Daniels, and I know that these are teams like KC, Pittsburgh. These are teams that Indianapolis should be beating, and somehow they're not. So I don't think that they're. I think I have them on number 8. I think that's where they belong, on number 8.
Yeah. No, I think you nailed that one, to be honest.
Okay, let's talk about the game predictions, and let's start because this week we actually have games on Thursday, games on Fridays, games on Sunday, games on Monday.
Yeah.
It's like early Christmas present for football lovers. Let's start with Thursday game. Let's start with Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions. Right now, when I looked at the spread, it was 2.5 Detroit. 48.5 is the point total. Anthony, what's your prediction?
I like the Lions take the points. I think, and I never say they can win at home because you and I have been watching Thanksgiving football all our lives, and the Lions are terrible, but now they've got a decent team. I think they're going to win, and I think Green Bay is very inconsistent. I really do.
Yeah, I also went with Detroit. I even know that they could have easily lost that Giants game last week because I don't know. This is not the same dominant Detroit team that we saw last year.
No, yeah.
I think Green Bay has its own issues. They have no running game. Love failed me a parlay last week because he's failed to score a touchdown. And I was like, wow, it was Jordan Love is going to mess up my parlay, and he surely did. So he cost me money. I'm sorry, I'm going with Detroit on this one. The next game, Kansas City Chiefs at Dallas Cowboys. The spread is 3 points for KC. 52.5 is the over and under. Anthony, who'd you go with?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs are going to eventually become the Chiefs again. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think that they're going to get it together. They've already won a tough game this past week. I think they win again this week, and I'll take them with the points. I think they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Dallas is going to put up points, but their defense is still kind of shaky.
Yeah.
But I trust. Well, actually, this is a tough one because the Dallas receivers are having a really good year. And I saw a stat, Anthony, the other day that George Pickens has more yards than the whole Steelers team combined. I was like,
that's not surprising.
I was like, how bad is your offense that one guy has a better season than your whole entire team? So, but I'm still going to go with KC here because I think that, last week's game against the Colts, they won it in the last second. I think that this is part of their comeback, and I think that Kansas City wins this one. The next Thursday game is Cincinnati Bengals at Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are favored by 7 points. 52.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what's your prediction?
I'm taking the Ravens. The Bengals, that was kind of like their last stand against the Patriots. I don't think the Bengals are any good at all. I don't like their organization. I've been very critical of a lot of the moves they made, including re-signing T. Higgins and stuff like this and not addressing certain defensive issues. Could have had 2 or 3 defensive plays for that price, but no, I don't like the Bengals at all. The Ravens they're kind of in a position like the Chiefs where they got to turn it on now. Like, it's not the end of the world, but they got to turn it on now, and I think they will, and I think they'll win easily.
Yeah, I mean, I know
7's a big number for the points. 7 is a big number for me.
7 is a big number, but to be honest, I think this is supposed to be Joe Burrow's comeback game. Jamar Chase also comes back from the suspension. I still like Baltimore, don't get me wrong, but I think that the 52.5, I would take the over on that one because I think that Cincinnati is going to score points. Even Rusty Joe Burrows, there's going to be some points there. But 7 points is a lot. That is a lot. Moving to the one Friday game, which is at 3 o'clock kickoff. It's Chicago Bears at Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 7 points. 44.5 is the point spread. Anthony, who'd you go with?
I'm taking the Eagles by a field goal, but they cover. The Bears cover. So that's huge. 7
points?
Yeah. That's a big spread for those two teams.
I mean, it's not like Caleb Williams has been impressive, right? I mean, he doesn't jump out at you and go, wow, Ben Johnson has really turned the corner on this guy. But I feel like as a team, they're like following through. I mean, they're first in the division, even though that division is not who we thought it was going to be at the start of the season. But I'm also taking Chicago on this game, but I think I would go under. I don't think they win by 7. I think that
I got the Eagles by a field goal.
You got the Eagles by a field goal?
Yep.
I think I got Chicago winning, but definitely not making the points on that one. Next game, we're gonna skip that game. We're gonna go to Jacksonville Jaguars at Tennessee Titans. Jaguars are favored by 6.5. 41.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what'd you go with?
I'm going with Jacksonville. I don't like the Titans. I don't like the direction their team is going in. They do have some good defensive linemen, but I don't even know what they are at this point. I mean, I get Cam Ward. Okay, some people are kind of saying he's better than we thought initially, but I just don't think they're going anywhere. Jacksonville really has to win this game. Jacksonville has to start positioning themselves for the playoffs. They need to win this game. They're going to win this game. I think the Titans are not a great organization right now. And I think firing Vrabel was a horrible decision on their part.
Yeah, and the scuttlebutt came out that I guess they were trying to trade some players and they didn't want to because of the whole Vrabel incident. And I didn't feel bad. I was like, Tennessee, you deserve this. You should have never gotten rid of this guy. I do think that the Jaguars. I also got the Jaguars winning. 6.5 sounds about right. They might go over.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence is still like an enigma to me. I don't know if he's good, if he's bad, if he's got weapons around him, or if he beats them. I just don't know with Trevor Lawrence.
It just doesn't seem like they can ever truly get it together. But
so do you see them making the playoffs and being one and done?
Yes. I don't think they're as talented as some of the teams in the AFC. I don't think they're better than the Patriots. I don't think they're better than the Chiefs still. I don't think they're better than the Broncos. I mean...
Yeah, that's what they're going to go on the road. Because if the Colts are probably going to win this division and Jacksonville's going to get in as a playoff. So,
let's say Jacksonville played the Ravens and Lamar's completely healthy. I don't think the Jaguars win that game. I don't.
Yeah, and their defense, I know they lost Travis Hunter for the year, but he wasn't really doing anything, to be honest with you. I don't trust him. Basically,
that was all a BS gimmick anyway. Let's play him on both sides of the ball. It's the NFL. You play 17 weeks now. No, it's not. Come on. That was a gimmick. That got him drafted higher than maybe he should have been drafted.
They gave too much. They gave up too much for him. He wasn't even a quarterback. I can see if they wanted a quarterback, but it was Travis Hunter. I think they just bought into the hype too much.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The next game, Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored by 4.5. 44.5 is the over and under. Anthony, who'd you go with?
Oh, everybody wants to blow smoke up the Texans behind. They're coming off a high. The Colts are coming off a tough game. This could be ripe for a Texans victory, to be honest with you. And I will call that. I'll say they squeak it out by a field goal. I say the Texans squeak it out by a field goal because this is just one of those kind of trap things where, the Colts lost. They played a tough game, but they lost. It took a lot out of them. The Texans have had a couple of extra days of rest. Everybody thinks the Texans now have one of the best defenses in the league. Will Anderson's a great leader. I think the Texans can squeak this one out.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think the Texans, they have a really good defense. Stroud is supposed to come back this week. To be honest, I think David Mills was doing a good job, a decent job anyways. I don't know how they're going to look with Stroud. I don't know what's going on with him. I feel like he's hit or miss right now. But I think that they pull this game off. I think defense trumps Daniels all the way. I don't trust it. This might be my upset special. I might change it from that Cleveland-San Francisco game. The next game, the New Orleans Saints at Miami Dolphins. Miami's favored by 6 points. 41.5 is a point total. Anthony, who'd you go with?
I'm going to go with the Dolphins, but this is one of those games that it's kind of a toilet bowl type game, but I'm taking the Dolphins. That's a big number, though. I don't know. I think they'll win by 3. I think the Dolphins will win by 3. I think that's a big number, and I don't know. But the Dolphins do have an explosive offense, even without Tyreek Hill. They can do it, and McDaniel is an offensive-minded coach. I'm going to take them by 3. I'm going to take the Dolphins by 3.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Miami can blow out the Saints. They're at home. They just they just came back from the Spain game. They're on a high. They think, the shit don't stink. I don't know. I think Miami has, like you said, they have the explosiveness. And I think, since this is a home game and the weather's going to be nice, I think Tua can do all right. It's not in the cold, even though the Saints playing in Dome, but this is going to be Miami. So, give me Miami. And I think they go over that spread. Give me the points. I think they go over. Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Falcons are favored by 2.5. 39.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what's your prediction?
Have you ever seen a more irrelevant team than the Atlanta Falcons? Just either they win or they lose. They're just a mediocre ass team. The Jets really at this point should be losing. Nobody tries to lose, obviously. I'm not saying that, but the Jets will probably win this game. The Jets are going to win this game, and it'll be a close game because Atlanta is just a stupid team. I can't stand the mistakes they make as an organization. I could go on forever about how, I'm sorry, I won't. I didn't mean to get off topic, but the Atlanta Falcons trigger me beyond belief. I just want to say that. With their hapless moves and their terrible organization, and they just ignore glaring needs like almost nobody I've seen outside of the Bengals and the Browns. They're that bad to me. They're irrelevant.
When they hired Raheem Morris as a head coach, I knew right away that this team was going nowhere. Even though they have decent players on the team. They have offensive players on the team. But when they gave Cousins that big contract and then they picked a quarterback, it didn't make sense.
No, that was one of the strangest, worst, how do you even, a 6-year-old wouldn't have made that move. You draft Penix at 8. First of all, if that's what you were going to do, fine. But he was not even projected to be a top 10 pick by anybody. That guy was really like a fringe first rounder for most of the draft process. And then you paid Kirk Cousins first. You paid him $180 million guaranteed, and then you draft Penix. And here's the even stranger part. Penix was one of the older quarterbacks in the draft. He was 25 years old. And they even said in the press conference, the general manager, he said, he's going to sit for 3 years behind Kirk, and then he's going to play. So you're going to have the oldest quarterback in the draft sit for 3 years, and you drafted him 8th overall. You thought he was that good, drafted him 8th overall. You give $180 million. That is one of the strangest moves I've ever seen.
Not only
it doesn't
that,
make sense.
When I was watching that game, the Pats versus the Falcons, and I saw Penix using the clap to first of all, he used to clap multiple times, and I was like, what is this, college? Why are we clapping to snap the ball? And then on top of that, most of his snaps were in what's it called? In a gun. I was like, why is he not taking the ball under the center and just I don't know. I just felt like Raheem Morris was trying to please him too much, or making the offense way too rudimentary for him. I would just just move on. You made a mistake. Move on.
What a horrible pick. Has nothing against Penix. He's in a bad situation in a bad organization, and he was put in a ridiculous situation with with that draft and that paying of, it just was a horror show. It doesn't show that have you ever seen a good organization do something like that? No.
Arthur Smith, he's losing it. Ever since that 28-3 comeback, he's just not the same guy. Arizona Cardinals at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are favored by 3 points. 45.5 is the total points total. Anthony, who'd you go with?
I'm taking the Bucs by 10. I think they're going to win by a touchdown and a field goal.
And they already said, I don't think Mayfield would be starting here. You like who's his backup? Bridgewater's backup.
Yeah, and he can get you a game. And Bridgewater is no longer a starting quarterback that way, but he can come in and light it up for one game. Just don't expect it for more than 2 games. Look at it that way. And I think he will have something to prove. He always seems to be that kind of underdog guy that does it. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are almost in the Atlanta Falcons camp of sucky organization.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. We're talking about Atlanta Falcons, NFC South. Arizona Cardinals are the NFC West of the Atlanta Falcons. They're just
irrelevant. I don't hate the Cardinals, but it just seems like any move they make, it's not a plus to the team. There's nothing comes out of it. Kyler Murray sucks.
No, they're trying to get rid of him. I mean, let's be honest, they're just trying to get rid of him. It was like a fake injury. I think he can play, but they're like, nah, we're good.
He's a dink.
Yeah, we gotta go with Murray. The next game, the Los Angeles Rams at Carolina Panthers. The Rams are favored by 10.5. 45.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be 10.5 or over. I don't like the Panthers. I don't like how people are like talking so, I guess, positively about them, which is not a nice thing of me to say, but I'm not. I think the Panthers have made some terrible personnel moves over the last couple of years. I really do. They've had some big draft busts. I think Bryce Young is not I don't care what he's done. Bryce Young should have not been the number 1 pick in that draft. And I think the Rams will crush them.
I 100% agree. I think that Bryce Young is not your QB for the future, but then you have a crazy owner that runs that organization like, I don't want to say like a business. It's almost like his like mistake venture or whatever. He's just, no, I want this guy. No, I don't want this guy. Like getting rid of Wilkes was a mistake, and then they had Baker and Darnold, and they got rid of both of them. It's just sad. It's really sad.
Baker Mayfield's way better than Bryce Young. He always was. Whatever. Bryce Young does not have a skill that you're like, wow, he's elite, because he doesn't have elite size. He doesn't have an elite arm. He's not even an elite athlete.
No, he's a little guy. Little guys don't do well in the NFL. They just don't.
And think about it. I hate to. One more thing is like Kyler Murray. At least he's short like Young, but at least he's like compact. He's got muscle and all that. Bryce Young is not built that same way.
No, Murray could have been a baseball star. He didn't want to.
Yeah.
The next game, talking about bad QBs, Minnesota Vikings at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 10.5. 41.5 is the over and under. Anthony, who'd you go with?
Yeah, the Seahawks are going to blast them. I think the Seahawks could make a playoff run this year, so they're just going to take care of business against the Vikings. I feel like the Vikings they're not ascending right now. Let's put it that way.
No,
they might be looking at trading Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson. Sorry, Justin Jefferson.
Not only him, but Addison too. I mean, they basically killed them fantasy wise. They just killed both receivers. If you have Justin Jefferson on your team, why? You should have traded him a long time ago. Let's skip the Steelers and go to Las Vegas Raiders at Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored by 9.5. 41.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what's your prediction?
Raiders lose, but they beat the spread. That's a big spread for a division game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's 9.5. I mean, I know the Chargers have been scoring lately, but I mean, they're coming off a bye week, so maybe, I don't know. I think 9.5 is still too big.
The division's an equalizer. It really is.
The Raiders are really, really, really bad.
Yeah, they are. I don't know. I'm still thinking. I thought the Bengals were that bad too, and they gave the Patriots a game. They you know what I mean? So, and I know that's not a division game, but I don't know. I think the Raiders lose but cover.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Raiders lose, but 9.5 is just too much for my liking. All right, the next game, Denver Broncos at Washington Commanders. This would have been a good game if the Commanders were any good. 6.5 is a spread for Denver. 43.5 is the over and under. Anthony, who'd you go with?
Denver. Denver's a good team. They're really good. They're going to take care of business. I like their defense. Bo Nix is serviceable enough. I don't think he's a Drake May level talent. I don't think anyone else thinks that, but I think he's good enough to get them where they need to go. I like their team.
I like their team. I'm worried about Bo Nix because he can like turn it off and turn it on. I've never seen that in a quarterback in a long time where he's asleep for 3 quarters and then he wakes up.
That's just him. That's just kind of how he's always played.
I didn't see any Oregon games with him on the way he was playing for Oregon, but I guess this is how he was. I don't know. It's very strange.
He plays a lot of schoolyard football, and he did a lot of that at Oregon.
Yeah, I have to see if this is his style, and that's what Sean Payton like. There's one game that we didn't do. San Francisco 49ers at Cleveland Browns. Niners are favored by 5.5. 38.5 is the point spread. Anthony, what's your prediction?
Oh, yeah. I'm taking San Francisco, and they're going to cover. And I just don't like the Browns or their organization. There's so many bad organizations, and I'm at this point rooting for the Browns to lose. Not because I care, just because I just think they're just a hideous organization. They owe their fan base better. And I know Shedeur played okay, but guess what? I think things are going to come crashing back down to earth this week. And San Francisco needs to they need to make a run right now. They need to establish where they are, and they're going to win this game easily.
I'm actually going to sag on this game. Because I'm actually going with the Browns because
wow,
I like Cleveland defense. I know that, and I think that Purdy struggled against Carolina, and that was Carolina. He struggled. This is a much better defense. I think Sanders is gonna do enough. I'm picking Cleveland, but I think that it's gonna be by a field goal. They're gonna keep it as low scoring as possible. I think Judkins is a good running back. I don't know if the San Francisco defense is any good against the run. I haven't looked at the stats, but I know that McCaffrey is just doing it all. It's like the old school McCaffrey, the one that used to play for the Panthers. That he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can throw it if he has to. He's doing it all. I just don't trust Purdy. I just don't. I think there's something wrong with that dude.
Yep. Any second he's going to turn back into Brock Purdy.
They're going to be regretting giving him that contract.
Yep.
Let's jump into the two main teams that we always talk about. Let's jump into Buffalo Bills at Pittsburgh Steelers. Buffalo is favored by 3.5. 47.5 is the over and under. Anthony, what's your prediction?
Buffalo's going to win. They're going to win. I think they'll cover the spread. It's going to be tough at Pittsburgh always, but Buffalo really needs to win this game. They need to get back into it. They need to start establishing their position in the playoffs. They're going to win this game. I'm not buying the Steelers. I told you that. There's something extra stinky about this Steelers team. I think they put money into the wrong resources. They have not addressed the quarterback now for several years. And I think the Bills, they're not ascending at this point. This is not peak Bills. This is not the team that was going for it a couple years ago. But the Bills are going to win this game. They're just the better team. They have the best player on the field.
Yeah, I think Buffalo wins this game and they go over the point spread. I think 3.5. I mean, they really want you to lay down some money in this game, but it's going to be Buffalo. The Steelers cannot score. They can't score, and they can't stop anybody from scoring. When we talk about 30-point games, I think that it was the Giants, Steelers, and then I want to say Denver. It's just terrible. Give me Buffalo to win this game. Last but not least, we have the New York Giants at the New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by 7.5. 46.5 is a point spread. Anthony, who'd you go with?
I'm taking the Patriots, and I think they're going to cover. I think the Giants just walking wounded at this point. I don't think they're going to put up much of a fight. I could be wrong. They've got a couple guys on defense, although Abdul Carter's been a little bit disappointing this year. But I think the Patriots win pretty easily. Like probably 2 touchdowns, I think. Not being biased or anything, but I just don't. I think the Giants at this point should be positioning themselves to pick inside the top 5.
Yeah, I agree. They got rid of their coach.
Not that anyone wants to lose, sorry, but I'm not saying it like that.
No, but the Giants got rid of their coach. Then just a couple of days, they got rid of the defensive coordinator. I'm sure he's buddy with Mike Vrabel. I'm sure he can give him some pointers. That phone call like, oh man, I'm sorry you lost your job, but you got any tips for me? I know that happens.
Yeah,
often.
Course.
So I have them winning this game 28-17. I don't think Scatterboo and Jackson Dart cannot do it all by himself. He might be in the blue tent by halftime. I don't know. He just, he's a rookie. I know that he's a rookie and he's an exciting rookie, but he needs to stop taking those hits. This is not college. These dudes are coming at you.
Hit.
Yes. Yeah. 100% hit. So we got them going for the 11th win. Anthony, you want to say anything to the Pats fans out there?
I think they're going to attack the left side this week. I do. Without Will Campbell there, you put Vidarian Lowe there, and the Giants do have some pass rushers, so I think they're going to try to win the game by getting pressure on Drake May. But I do think the Patriots are going to win. I think guys like Travion Henderson, I think he's kind of breaking out. He's feeling himself now. Booty will be another week removed from the injury. He was in a stride. He was in the groove before he went out, to be honest. Booty looks like he has really great chemistry with May. I think one of the more interesting things to look at is Kyle Williams. He had some acceleration last week, and it's like if this guy can just get the ball in space, this guy's fast. He's quick. He accelerates incredibly. I don't know if you've seen him really stride like that. He had that one long touchdown a few weeks ago. But this guy, at some point, you got to just get him the ball. He doesn't seem to be a great route runner.
No. When Keyshawn went down and Kyle Williams had to replace him, he looked lost. There was some spots where Drake May would throw the ball and he wasn't there, and
it's happened several times this year with him. It's
happened several times. I don't think he gets it right away. I think that's why he's been kind of like pushed to the side. But you're right. He talk about explosive rookies. Trayvon Henderson, this guy Kyle Williams. If you get him to do simple things, he can explode. So yeah, I think just having like maybe like have him quick slants in there, maybe like a screen pass, something just to get the ball in his hand.
It's just weird, the passes that go like the passes that he misses is like, May is not an inaccurate quarterback. He's going to put it in somewhere in the catch radius. But it's like Kyle Williams is like, the ball is nowhere near him when he throws to Kyle Williams. It's like he's just running the wrong routes.
No, it's, Matt Collins, it's really, developing into a good wide receiver. And then Pup Douglas, you're not going to get too many targets, but when he does get the ball, he's going to be good for 30, 40 yards.
He's a big play guy. And I think Hollins is one of the unsung heroes of this team, really, to be honest, because he's got a great attitude. He's got a great motor, and he's a big dude. He makes some tough catches, and he can make a catch in a crowd. He's a little more talented than people think he is. I feel.
Yeah, I think that that was Josh McDaniels. Like, hey, I had him with the Raiders. I think we should definitely grab him, and I think that's what they did. So next week we'll have episode 140. We'll have week 14. I like to thank Anthony for filling in on short notice. I know that this is a topic very dear to your heart, so I appreciate that very much. With that said, I want to say peace.
All right, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.
Sim Podcast Show.